In the previous tutorial, we looked at the structure of the HTML and how to set up a basic web page and execute your first web page with HTML. And we said that there's two elements that go into two main elements that go into the HTML elements here. And you might ask why there's a slash in the second tag, and that is to end the tag. So for example, here, the first tag up here, we don't have any slash. Why? Because the slash would only be in between if there's any content in between the tags. So if HTML tag here did not have any content sandwiched in between it, we won't have to put this end tag with a slash in it. So it's just to determine that this is the end of the HTML document and all that's within is inside the HTML document, and that's how we indicate the ending. So let's look at what the content is inside the head tags. So what I said before is the head tag is what does not show on your web page. The body is what shows on the front of your web page, and everything that's in the head is metadata, or data that tells you information about other data. So it could be either meta, which means information about the web page itself, link, where it would link to other documents that you want to include in this HTML project or program project that you're doing. Style is CSS, like how you're going to design. So you might want to use in HTML document styling, or you could link to another document that has your styles, and that's how you would design your web page. Script is where you can add script, like what JavaScript, like how do you want some of the parts of your website to function, and that's where you would add your JavaScript code. You could also link to a document using the link here, so you don't have to do it all inside this document and have it all messy. So linking is probably the best option, but there's always the option of putting the code here. If it's not a huge chunk of code, you might choose to put it here. The base code is basically the base link, and I'll explain that later on. And then lastly is the title, which would go in the top tab. When you open the browser, up there in the tab, you'll see the name, and we'll see this when we get to it. We'll save, and then I'll show it to you when we look in the browser. So let's start with the meta. Example of a meta would be like if you want to put keywords for your web page so that it could rank and Google will understand more about what you have on your web page. So what you would call the meta here is name, and this is an attribute. Basically, name is an attribute to the meta tag, and we'll talk about attributes later on in the tutorials, but for now I'm just explaining what a meta would be. So you would go ahead and put name and keywords. So this is what you want to put for name, because you want to give Google keywords about your web page. And then content, what's the content of the keywords, and you would just put in whatever keywords you have. So like you put HTML and so on, and then you would close, and you would just close the tag. So the meta tag is one of the tags, like the first tag up here, that does not have a closing tag because there's no content squished in between two tags. There's only one tag that has attributes inside that tag. You don't need to have a closing tag. There's not going to be any slash. So that's the meta tag. So for the link tag, an example for a link tag is, so open the bracket, and then we want to link, let's say we want to link to a CSS document so we can design our web page. And what we would use is rel. It's another attribute, and we'll talk about attributes later. And you would say style sheet. You close, and then you want to say href, which is used for linking. You want to, and then inside the quotes for the href attribute, you would put the name of the CSS document. So every CSS document will end in .css, just like the HTML document ends in HTML. So it would be whatever, style.css, and then you would close it. It's also a tag that has no end tag, so that's all you need to link to your style.css document. And now the HTML document will be able to take style and designs from that document and implement into your structure website that you have in the HTML document. And that is how you use the link tag. So for the style tag, this is a tag that will need an end tag because we're going to be inputting content between tags, because style is used to design instead of linking to a CSS document. Instead, we want to put it directly into the HTML document, and this is how we would do it. So we would have an end tag with style slash style, and so we would enter whatever designs we want to have for our web page inside these two tags. And for example, here I might want to make the background of the body for my web page to be blue. So I'm going to say body. And we'll learn CSS later on in these tutorials. I'll have a tutorial for CSS, but basically just for demonstration. And I'll open a bracket here, and I will say background color colon, and I want it to be blue. And then we would put a semicolon, and then we will close the bracket. And basically that is what CSS would be for background color and using the style tag. But if you didn't use the style tag, you wanted to use the CSS document, it would be similar to this, but inside the document, and then you would link it, and then it would use that design to design the body. And so for the script, like I said, the script is for entering like JavaScript code or Python code that you want to use to create functions in your web page. And basically it would also have an end tag, and we're not going to enter any code right now because it's too early on to understand how JavaScript or Python code works. But basically it would be similar to what we have up here in the style, but it would just be a code block inside here, and it would link to a certain element inside the body, and it would cause function to happen. Just like here, I have it linked to the body because I want the body background color to be blue. It would be a similar way of implementing that here in the script. So for the base tag, like I said, base tag is also going to be a tag that has no close tag, because there's no content that's going to be inside. And basically what you want to do with the base tag is enter your source link. So it would probably be the main page of your web page. And basically, if you want to have anything within your web page linked to, you wouldn't have to enter in your whole source link. You would only link to that page. You would enter that page link inside your body, and because it's a relative link, it would use the link that you have, your base link, and it would link to that page within your website. And what do I mean by a relative link? So basically, if you have https colon dash dash www dot, this is the source link. A relative link would only be, for example, if I want to go dash contact on my web page, that's just a relative link that would get you to my contact page on my web page. So what you would put in the base tag here is href equals, and you would open the quotations and you would put your base link. So https colon dash dash www dot, and I would use this is my web page, so lifebackend.com, and end it with a slash, and that would be my base link. So if I wanted to use in my body down here a link to my contact page, all I would do is just enter in slash contact, and then it would, since it's a relative link, it would use the source link, base link up here. So any relative link you have on your web page will be directed right after this link you have. So you can only have one base link. And last but not least is the title tag. And the title tag has an end tag because it will have content squeezed inside it. So basically this would be, like I said, the title on the tab in the browser, and you can name it anything like Learn HTML. And so once we have all these tags set up, I can now go here to just make a demonstration. I'm going to add a h1 tag. And I'm going to say hi there. And so you can save the document, and then exit out. And so you open up the HTML document here, and as you can see, here we have the title, Learn HTML, as I put it, and my body background is blue, and I have the h1 tag that says hi there. And here's a little trick you can do by going up and clicking on develop and then view page source. So here in the Mac, to view this page here, you have to click on that, or you can say options command U. But on a PC, all you have to do is right click and then you'll see the option to view the page source. And as you can see here, it shows you what we just did, what I put in. So you can see the style here. I put in background color blue, and the title I put as Learn HTML. So that's a little trick you can do. So like if you go to my website, lifebackend.com, and you look here, and the source and you can see all the other things that you can add. And here's an example of a code that is put in the script. And as you can see here, the head tag is full of metadata about the website. So that's it for the tutorial this week, and in the next tutorial we're gonna learn about what we can do in the body. So all the things we can create in the body so that we can make our first HTML project. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out, and so long.